Hey y'all, Dr. Martin here. So I know that you've all been seeing this messaging about Bobbi Althoff, and I wanted to provide a different perspective about accountability and a bit of a new context, I hope. So brief background is that she started off as a mom blogger talking about her journey to motherhood and breastfeeding. I remember she went really viral talking about breastfeeding. And then her podcast launched in 2023. Side note, if anyone can tell me the trajectory of her career, her podcasting career, or how it started in 2023, and then she automatically got all of these huge guests, because it smells like nepotism. Like I'm not even catching a hint of talent regarding how these individuals are booked. So I would love to hear that. First of all, my first point goes to how she is portrayed in the first place. Now, she's often shown in this like meek mindset, rude, but like meek, and the positioning is like she's a child. And I want you to know it's incredibly intentional. We have this image of this innocent little European American woman. And just for clarification, she's not a child. I think she's in her 30s. I know she has 2 children. And as I said, these messages are always purposeful. They're also not new at all. In fact, there was a whole social media experiment called the pigtail trend.
So there's something called the pigtail theory.
Have you guys heard of the pigtail theory?
Well, I got tipped more if I'm wearing my hair in pigtails as a server.
Okay, y'all. So, just an update.
Am I a whore? I don't give a fuck.
That this kind of reminded me of. And the purpose of the trend was for these women to display themselves as more childlike and innocent, and they're working in service industries. And they wore their hairstyle to appeal to the interests of European American men, because they knew for a fact what they were looking for, that they would get more tips. And I also think this is a perfect example about messaging, about like you get what you want and how it's passed down in certain ways. It reminds me of my European American colleague who shared during this time of sharing one time that she was told when she was growing up that if ever stuff got too difficult, she was backed into a wall, or she couldn't justify like a statement, like if she was wrong, to cry, and no matter what, that would stop everything because people would help her. Anyway, so back to Bobbi. When you look at the way that she's positioned in her interviews, her clothing, her posture, even her mannerisms, this agenda is clear, and it's a pretty old concept. Now, when I saw her, all I could think of was that this was an example of infantilizing herself to boost herself up, just another pigtail trend, as it were. And the reason why I think about this is because Liz Plank a while ago said she was asked why she was qualified to discuss masculinity, and she said because when you're the oppressed group, you know everything about your oppressor. It's the way that you survive. And one of the ways that I've noticed that this goes over time with European American women, one of the things I noticed is the way that some of them work is to use that. This is that. The feigned ignorance, the disdain for her black guests. It's an old hat trick which dates back to like enslavement and stereotypes. But here's the biggest point, because this is what I saw, and everyone sees stuff different. Oftentimes when we discuss stereotypes, we discuss them in terms of black women. I know I do as well. But for this one, I want to talk about the stereotypes between black men and their utility. And I want you to think of 2 specific stereotypes. And that's going to be the Sambo stereotype, as well as the Sambo and Brute stereotype. Now, the whole purpose of stereotypes is to further an agenda, justify maltreatment, dehumanize black people. But this is very much incorporated in what she does. Now, the Sambo stereotype was used as one of the justifications for the enslavement of Africans. Sambo was portrayed as lazy and didn't have any aspect of intellect, a child's mindset. The whole caricature was shared far and wide to entertain in minstrel shows, dehumanize black men, and then perpetuate the messaging that black men have no way to care for themselves. They are children in need of being in control. They have to be kept in line by their masters. So this is why enslavement is so important. But after the Reconstruction period, the oppressors were like, we need a new message. We need a new message after the abolition of slavery. So there needed to be a new agenda to attack black men. Now, enslavement wasn't because they're childlike. Now, these are brutes and savages. They portrayed black men as a threat. They weren't childlike anymore. Imagine that. They're monsters, and they were going after their most important commodity in humanity. They're European American women. Now, this messaging was directly connected to lynchings and torture and destruction of black men and their families. And these images were rampant through short films. They were also rampant in science. There were scientific studies that tried to look at the black body and show that because of that they had thicker skin and their skulls were different and their body size were different, that they were going to be more savage. This is one of the reasons why I believe that she is so popular. This is one of the reasons why I believe that a person with no apparent talent.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you doing that.
Yes.
and maybe she has talent, I just haven't seen it, goes viral because she's supporting the stereotypes that have always happened and have been around for ages, to which I would really question the Black men that go on her platform consistently. I wonder if they understand the aspect of being pawns, like, because I do think they're being pawns in this whole aspect. I believe she's so popular because she degrades men, Black men in the community, portraying them to be like fools or oafs and that's what many viewers want to see, especially when you're looking at the caliber of men, like their wealth. People want to see these men taken down a peg. They want to be like, who are you? I don't listen to rap, hip hop. Oh, that was a big word.
Like, how long have you been in your career, like interviewing?
Like a couple months.
How's it going?
It's going okay.
Lucrative?
And now it is, yes. It wasn't up until now. Now it's really lucrative. It's a big word.
Yeah. You thought I didn't know big words?
No, I
always see that. Always is the story. That's always the storyline. They think, well, no, you see what I'm saying? That's a little. That's
what people want. So, once again, this isn't new and it's not surprising, but I would encourage all of these prominent Black figures to provide the great opportunity to be interviewed to creators and correspondents who have actually earned it and who actually respect them for what they've achieved and their craft. I don't think you should be interviewing Shaq if you don't know he played basketball.
I don't know. Can you answer that, please?
This one.
Haha. That was really clever. What are you doing? Are you a mime?
You have people who work their behind off daily to grow their messaging and their platform. And I think you should really be more considerate of who you are within our communities and the access that you grant it to those who deserve it. And don't mistake someone's reach or their platform or their partner or their previous guests as an indicator that they are deserving of your presence. I believe that y'all are so much more, and I don't feel as though this platform deserved you.